Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Dark Souls Stream Part 2, another early morning stream. This probably won't be normally this early in the morning, but had a little bit of extra unexpected time before work, so we're going to figure to stream some Dark Souls this morning. See if that gets up and running. Should pull up. Yep, there we go. Got it all up and going. So this is the second Dark Souls, my third stream in general. We're just going to kind of go, we're just going to see where we end up today. Have a good time, just enjoy playing some Dark Souls. Let's load back into our character. Kind of as discussed before a little bit in the last stream, this is a very casual playthrough. I'm by no means some master speedrunner. I've played Dark Souls for a while, so I'm not favorite games, and I'm not by no means a master speedrunner. And as the title suggests, we are playing this on a Steam controller. That's the one controller I have available to me right now, and it seems to actually be handling much better than I thought it would, given my previous experience with it, but we're going to keep trying it out today and see where it goes. Yesterday we beat the Taurus Demon, and today we're getting a little bit more into uncharted territory. I remember up to the Taurus Demon pretty well, because I've played this game several times in the past. I got into it shortly before Dark Souls 2 was released, so I think the peak of the initial Skyrim era, like 9-10 years ago. And I played through it then, and I've played through it maybe once or twice since then, but it's probably been about 4 years since I've done a good proper playthrough of this. So we're just kind of taking it as it comes, trying to figure it out. Alright. So, there's a giant dragon up there. For any of you new to Dark Souls, that's what I was going to do. I got a lot of souls. We're going to do a little bit of leveling up first. Before I forget and get myself in trouble. Later Dark Souls, I'm thinking of other games when you can actually speed climb down those, and I can't figure out if there's a way to do it in this one. I was going to enjoy that long ladder. Okay. It's kind of as mentioned before, I don't quite have a good proper build in mind, and I'm not going to be kind of min-maxing stats for maximum efficiency in this stream. What we are probably going to be doing is just going with what I think feels good in the moment. And I'm kind of leaning towards a character that uses good solid shield in one hand, and I'm looking to get to the point where I can kind of dual wield a halberd in the other. So kind of strengths is probably the most important thing for me right now. So I'm going to probably put a few more points into that, just so I can get to the point where I can hold a halberd in one hand. I might need to put some points in dexterity, but I can't remember offhand if I need to. I'm probably going to keep the armor that we have right now. We might go lighter if we need to, but we're going to push that up to... Let's just kind of bank some points into here. Put that up to 20. That's a good starting point. This up to 13 because it's my favorite number, and vitality is always important because that's health. Vitality and endurance. Health and basically how fast you can roll. But we'll just do that for now. Might be a mistake, but... Again, I find Dark Souls is one of those games, there isn't really a mistake in Dark Souls. In terms of, like, a bad build. There's definitely builds that are more effective. You can really make anything work. This is the game that people play with just nothing but their bare fists or a broken sword and no armor. And if they can beat it like that, I can beat it with poorly placed stat points and an axe. Especially because this is most likely just going to be the first game cycle. I kind of plan to play through first game cycle here to New Game Plus, and then we'll move on to Dark Souls 2, and then eventually to Dark Souls 3. I kind of want to play through the whole series, kind of back to back, see a little bit about how the games evolved and kind of how they changed, because there's a lot of differences between them. Personally, and this might change kind of through the course of the stream, but I always remember Dark Souls 2 being my favorite. This is what I was referring to right here with the dragon. If you try to walk, the dragon goes super angry fire mode. You do get a nice little bit of souls there. I'm going to go rest at the bonfire again, just because I did get hit there a little bit unexpectedly, and I don't want to be going into this pre-damage. What my goal is going to be is the Pyromancy arm has decent flame resistance. And while I'm certainly can't... Actually, one of those will take out. I certainly don't have the ability to... Yeah, that is. Take a full hit or two from that fire path. If I let him have his fire breath, I might be able to time it to where I can run past him. And if I do get hit a little bit, we can take the little bit of damage because I do have a bit of fire resistance from the Pyromancy robes. It's been a while since I've done it. I know I've done it in the past. You can fight the dragon if you sit there with arrows, or I actually can't remember. I don't think you can kill the dragon. But I know, like, if you shoot the tail enough time with arrows, you'll actually get something. Although I can't remember what the reward is offhand. But I'm not going to be doing that today. We're just going to be trying to get past the dragon, get as far as we can. Hopefully join the Warrior of the Sun. The Warriors of the Sun and the Sun Bros. That is the covenant I will be joining in this playthrough, just because I like to be able to throw my little helpy sign down and kind of just support the community that way. I will be doing that a couple times in the stream. Not to farm any of the equipment, but, you know, just have a few minutes, throw down a sun sign, help out someone. I always appreciate it. Gonna get to a little bit more helpful position first. Okay. We are going to... I think I'm gonna kind of just cash in on my souls real quick. Oh, it's gonna take forever. Let's do it this way. There might be a faster way to do this, but this is how I always remember doing it. This way you can just kind of hit the X button instead. But I'm going to kind of cash in on these souls, see if I'm able to grab... I should be able to grab another level. Probably in either Vitality or Endurance. Just to kind of get those up a little bit. Vitality is going to give me more health, Endurance is going to give me more stamina, and ability to move faster. They're really much your bread and butter in terms of surviving long term in this game. Wait a minute, is there a way to use multiple? There might be a way to use multiple. Item menu. No, not a way. Offhand. It's fine, we'll just throw it back in here as well. Bit of a early morning maintenance, getting our character all set up and ready to deal with the world ahead. It's always good to try to take a little bit of a chance in the morning to get yourself ready. You know how it is. Okay, got those items kind of set up. These aren't in any sense like an optimal system. They're just kind of going with what I have. I don't use items particularly a lot outside of the Estus Flask, but I will use fire bombs. I did use fire bombs to help beat the Taurus Demon. So I ran out of Pyromancy, but... Let's get another little level up here. Let's put it in Vitality for this first one. I'm actually going to do a quick run to the Merchant, though. There's a Merchant in the starting area if you haven't played this before. Oh, it's been one day and I'm already forgetting the controls. There we go. Come on, friend. Oh, yeah, you jumpy boy. I wasn't looking there for a second. You almost got me. Oh. This is what happens. I was playing a different video game and I've already forgotten the controls. I think we're good. Just had to remember that it's not X to attack, despite my mind saying it was in that moment. It's also a little bit cold in my apartment today, so a little bit shaky if you see. I'm wearing a nice little warm sweater, but my fingers are a little bit slow from the cold. Also gonna apologize in advance. I only have one screen. It's kind of been mentioned before in streams, so any kind of chat is seen on my phone, which I have just sitting right in front of my computer. Kind of keep an eye on the chat. I will say there is a bit of a delay. It depends at the moment on kind of where that delay is. So if I do not respond for a while and you send a message, I will respond. I am reading my chat. I do promise. It's just a bit slow. As it is. Let's do a little brief. refresh there, get it back kind of as up to current as possible. I'm working on trying to figure out something, like maybe a way I can have chat on my screen while I game, to be a little bit more real time. But for right now, the one phone works. We're not here for super professionalism. This is just a kind of a casual thing. I had a laptop that could stream, and I'm like, I'll be playing video games anyway. Might as well just, whatever, just good chat, enjoy the company. Provide my commentary, whether it's not as valuable. Oh, wrong button. Not wrong. Not, it's the right buttons, but it didn't time it well. There's a way you can kick. I can remember it. I'm really struggling with right now. What's that? There we go. This is a very kind of embarrassing little game, but it's not handling this fight too well here. Normally do a bit better. You can go back and watch yesterday's stream if you want to see me at my best. This is a little bit of a slower stream. Come on, friend. Come here. Always so slow. Just chilling there. Just walk forward. Come over here. We can be friends. See, this is how you move around with the shield. You guys are always so slow with your shields. Just back and just look. I don't even have to have my shield. You're just not gonna do anything. Fine. If you're not gonna do anything, just trying to give you a chance to fight back. You're just gonna stand there. Not do anything. Crazies. How's Captain Ambush doing? Yeah, you doing good? Oh, that's a mighty swing you're going for. We're stuck. I got stuck on some furniture. Unexpected turn of events. Boop. Surprise hug.
Oh, there you are. Still keeping your marbles all together? Then go ahead, don't be a nitwit. Never hurts to splurge when your days are numbered.
Spoken like a true merchant. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember where it is. I know there's a place you can... I believe there's a place you can sell things, but I could be wrong. Allows inventory. That's what I need. Oh, both those are good. I think we're going to go with... I think I'm going to grab the bottomless box, just because it's going to be... Because I'll forget about it. I always forget where that's located, so if I don't buy it now, I'll forget where it is. So we're going to grab the bottomless box. I don't think anything else he has within my price range is worth it. Maybe an item? Throwing knife. Oh, firebombs. Firebombs are good. I can get a few of those. Yeah, let's grab some firebombs. I have 3. How many can I get? Let's get all 7. It never hurts to have as many firebombs
Thank you
as possible.
kindly.
Especially when you're playing as a pyromancer at these early levels, it's just kind of like extra fireballs. And that's a very useful tool to have. It's good to kind of keep a little bit of distance when you have tough enemies that are a little bit, like they're really good on the slower, tougher enemies. They're kind of like that shield guy there that we saw. They're really good for that kind of situation. It's going to give you a bit of breathing room. Anyway, now that I've kind of safely invested those... No, it's the wrong way. Now that I've safely invested those souls, you're going to try to run past the dragon. I have a lot of humanity earned so far, the 3. It's a lot more than I was expecting to hold on to. I can't really spend that on anything right now. So it's a bit like I wish I had a way to save it or invest it, but I'm not aware of any. So what we're going to do is we're going to run up here, get the dragon angry. They'll take care of the guys on the bridge for us. And now we're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to try to do a sprint after. So we're going to get the dragon to do his little fire. And then we are going to... That was a little too early. You want to time it just right. Just going to let the fires run down and go. That was not timed right. I know I've done it before. There's a couple. I think there might be another way we can go after the dragon if I keep struggling with him. But we're just gonna try to give this a couple goes. As you can see, I'm not going to reinvest any humanity and get myself back to human. Not right now, at least. But we're just gonna keep playing. We'll get past them eventually. That's the thing about Dark Souls. It's one of those games you learn to throw yourself at a problem until you find a creative solution. It's probably gonna say illusionary wall. Yeah, it says fog wall. And I'm pretty sure there's not one there. That's the longest running joke in Dark Souls. Instant classic right here. Find a flat wall, put a hidden wall. Switch in front of it. Anyway, get up here. Get Mr. Dragon to do his fire. That is a very convenient spot for my souls to have gone. Run up here again. Go this way. Oh, got unexpected hit there. Gonna grab a little health potion. We're gonna get him to kind of flame again. At a time. Don't think I timed this the absolute best, but and done. There you go. Second try. That was pretty unexpectedly successful. And then he flies off, and we don't have to worry about him again. Again on this bridge. I do think he might come back, or can be found elsewhere. I might be thinking of something else, but I didn't even pay attention to what those items were. I'll probably check my inventory in a moment. Yeah, but now he's gone. This bridge is kind of safe to walk back and forth as we need to. All out of energy from sprinting. This is where we originally came from. That door's locked. But that's kind of where you come up from the Taurus demon, and then we kind of ran from the dragon to those stairs originally. But now the dragon's gone, so it's a pretty safe area. We're going to go ahead and light the bonfire up here. Kind of get the next safe spot, and restore my humanity while I'm at it. And get my humanity back up and all nice and shiny. The nice thing is while you do lose the humanity that you have, when you die, you can pick up your, I call it liquid humanity, I think that's the correct term. You can pick your liquid humanity back up, which means I was able to recover that and restore one of the humanities on me. And I can actually use another one to kindle the bonfire, get it up to full strength for me right now. That way when I rest here, I'll still have my 10 Estus flasks. This is, I can go in there. There's probably where I'm gonna go next is up there. I'm gonna do a little bit of exploring. Again, it's been a while since I've played, so any of you want to give me a little comment as to if go in the wrong direction, if it's a better direction, please feel free to. I always appreciate a little bit of advice. This isn't really a game that you're going to plot spoiler for me or anything like that, so try to keep it maybe spoiler free in the chat. Haven't played before, but direction, tips, tricks, I'm totally fine for it in this game. Don't mind a little bit of backseat. If I disagree, I will ignore it. Don't be offended. But yeah, backseat gating a little bit welcome to Dark Souls. Always love a new opinion, bit of advice. Praise the sun. Is this where? I could have sworn there was a way to interact with this. Like a, I might be going crazy, but I'm pretty sure this is where you join the Sun Covenant. Might just be going crazy. Hi, hello friend. Thought maybe if I rested it would reset it. I can't remember. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but that's fine. I won't worry about it now. I'll just kind of let's kind of continue on our way then. this lever a good mighty pull. I want to explore that way, but I have a feeling you will sneak up on me if I do. Yeah. There you are. Let's do a little bit of a dance. So we have a deep, dark, mysterious hole and stairs, which I'm pretty sure there's a Black Knight at the top of these stairs. The Black Knights are a very powerful, not quite a mini boss, but an enemy nonetheless. Yep, that's Black Knight. Trying to let him figure out what he's doing. I'm not going to try to fight him on this narrow stairwell. I could be wrong, but I actually believe these stairwells were designed historically even to make it very hard for people who are fighting. I mean, at the very least, you always kind of want the, not to quote the Star Wars meme, but the high ground. Always want the high ground. So we're going to try to get to a little bit of better footing against this Black Knight. Can't even quite see what kind of weapon he's using. Kind of back out of here. Now we're in a little bit more... We're going to keep to the Pyromancy Flames. They do a lot more damage. Unless he puts his shield up, of course. Is that it? There we go. I'm doing much better against the Black Knights than I normally do. I normally really struggle with him, and I also might have just reset him. I can't remember if they're a resetting enemy or not. Because if he did, that's going to be a pain. Because they are not an enemy that resets. Okay. There's not an item up here either, so it's kind of a waste of trip either way. Oh, that is why we killed you the first time, friend. Enjoying the view? You're always so slow. Are you just gonna walk down the stairs slowly? Okay. I just remembered I actually might have a new weapon or two to look at. I think we're going to drop off some items in that bottomless box I had. Just while before I forget. This is the bottomless box. That was the whole reason I bought it. Okay. I believe... It's not letting me change... Oh, there it is. It's arrows. There we go. Okay. So we're going to hold on to the Titanite. This is used to enforce and make weapons better. Hello! How you doing, Molly? Good to see you in the chat. Glad you caught the Dark Souls stream. And do you prefer... I think I asked you this last night, but I can't remember. Do you prefer, like, Molly or Molly Knife? Or do you have a preference in what you're called? Just kind of looking through the items that I have a little bit. I'll look through them outside the bottom box, but that's potentially... It's a great sword. If I have the strength to do it, I'd like to one-hand it. Kind of with the Great Axe. I really don't think I can do the Great Axe. I will hold on to the crossbow because it's always good to have. That's a bit of a spare weapon. We're not going to be using that shield anytime soon. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm doing good. There's a pretty strong delay, too, right now between the chat and me. I do apologize. I can't quite shorten it at all. Molly and knife is cool. Okay. So yeah, if I answer your questions and it takes a bit to respond, I just have a delay in my chat. It's a little bit worse today than it was last night and yesterday. I just only have the one monitor right now, so chat's on my phone, and there's a bit of a delay. But I am paying attention to chat, so I will respond, even if it is at a delay. Okay, do I have any better gear? I don't think any of this gear is better. Weapons. I think I might have gotten a better weapon to use, but they're both great weapons. It's a great sword. Oh, did I leave with the great sword? I did. Nope, it's right there. So I don't know if I can meet the requirements to one-hand them. I believe it is strength plus half, and then meeting the item's dex requirements. So, taking a look here, this generally looks to be a worse weapon. Like a much better... a lot more physical, but where are the requirements? I feel like there's requirements for it. Might just be going crazy, though. It's been a hot moment since I played Dark Souls, so... Oh, required parameters. It's the dex. I need 18 dex for it. I barely have the strength, so it's not really a weapon I'm going to be able to one-hand. And I'm not even going to get close to using the Great Axe. So I'll put those both in the bottomless box for now. We are going... My goal is to get a halberd. I really love the halberd in this game. It's got good reach, it can swing well. So that's kind of what we're looking at. How's my item weight doing? I actually might have enough souls to level up again. I do. I want to put one more in endurance, just to kind of increase the equip load. Equip load in this game is really important, not in much as terms like, you can obviously max it out, it's the maximum amount that you can kind of really carry before you're encumbered, just like Skyrim and other RPGs. But what really makes it as important is that if you want to be able to roll fast, you have to be under a certain level of equipment. And if you start to get, the more equipment you have, the slower you roll. And for some people, if you play like a very heavy armor class, you might just be a slow guy who doesn't roll and take hits all day. I don't play that way. I've tried. I'm just not good. I prefer a good medium roll. Enough armor to keep me safe if I make a mistake, but also keep the speed up nice and high. Okay. I am going to see how much... This would add 3 to my weight. I'm thinking about... Yeah, you can see that right now. So that pushed me over the limit. So now when I roll, there's just this kind of sluggish recovery right at the end. And that, if you kind of equipped for it, is fine. But it does mean that this weapon's very much off limits right now, so that I can maintain that much faster roll. See, the other thing is too is the Pyromancer's robes are one of the heavier starting armor sets. They offer really good protection. They particularly have very nice fire protection, understandably being the Pyromancer's robes, but they're just a bit heavy. So I'll probably ditch them for a little bit of a lighter armor set, if I can find one or I get the chance to. That pig right there is one of my least favorite enemies in this game. Oh, there's a friend right there. You are incredibly slow. You're always so slow. I don't want to get the pig angry at me right now. Okay, got in before he could. I'm going to try to pick these guys off kind of one at a time outside of the pig, so I can kind of deal with the pig on its own. Pig's still nice and chill. gonna try to sneak up here, because I know the pig can't get up here, and there's archers up here. Okay, be wary of sniper. Definitely be wary of sniper. There's 2 of them right there. Oh, it's not paying attention. Okay. First threat dealt with. Is there any... Nope, no one hiding there. This is kind of where things just become much less of a problem, because I can sit here and kind of take archery bolts all day from these 2. Whittles away a little bit at the stamina, but it's not too bad. Oh, cheeky jump. Okay. Weakness, fire. Yes. This is kind of where... We'll let him fall off. He'll run back up here, so we'll let him do his thing. But no, doesn't want to switch over targets. Yeah, when I come to fight the pig, I'm going to kind of stand up here and hit him with a couple Pyromancy Flames. Might be cheating a little bit, but cheating keeps you alive in Dark Souls. If it's going to fight dirty, you gotta stand up for yourself a little bit. You made it back up the stairs yet? Nope, there you are. You're always so slow. You're always so slow. Come on. Come on, friend. What are you doing? You're just gonna wander slowly up the stairs. Oh, now you're just gonna stand there? I will come to you. Do I need to come down to you? There you go. See, now you can move fast. I knew it was in ya. There you go. Also, just appreciate the dragon design on this shield for a moment. Nice little bit of lens flare. It's one of my favorite shields in the game, just because of that just nice, very simple, painted little dragon on it that reflects in the sun. One of my favorite shields right there for it. Let's grab our Pyromancy Flame and eliminate Mr. Bacon here. Okay, you can target... Doesn't want to target lock on the pig. There we go. Oh, of course it was too far away. Is that better? I think I can throw a little sledge. It might have been onto my cheesing antics. I have to do this the old-fashioned way. There we go. There's a will, there's a way. I hate to waste all my fireballs like that, but the biggest thing is, again, I don't think he's a respawning enemy. Could be wrong. I do think he's a one and done, which will make coming to this area easier. But the bigger thing is, as my axe just really isn't that strong at this point in a game. So to kind of sit there and go toe to toe with him when he's a very hard, heavy-hitting enemy could very quickly be a bad move for me. So he's kind of stuck with the axe for a little bit. We're gonna see. I don't think there's anywhere else I can go in here. We're gonna go down the stairs, which in Dark Souls, Rule 101, if you see stairs and corners, there's going to be an ambush. Beware of lying in ambush. We also like to put warnings out here. See? And now, if I actually remember this part, he's just going to take right off. Yeah, because he wants you to follow. If anything ever runs from you in Dark Souls, that's an immediate red flag. Nothing runs away kindly in this game. So you got a friend there, friend there. Narrow hallways are bad for me. So you see, it's got a wide swing on this axe, which is really great because I can hit multiple enemies at once, but if you're in a tight hallway, and you're too close to that wall, that's going to be the end of you. You can kind of get away with it if you hug the one side, but even then, just a little bit too far to the other side, and you've just wasted a swing. You got any more? There's a couple more. You're going to come down here. Get out of your system. Sometimes you just gotta swing nice and crazy like. But you gonna come? Yeah. Oh, you brought a friend too. Friend actually got lucky there. He can be king of the hollowed party. Got anyone over here? So you said you're doing good this morning, Molly. Do you have anything fun planned for today, or just a run-of-the-mill Thursday for you? Had to think what day it was there for a second. Don't think I'm gonna go up those stairs just yet. Oh, there's a shiny. Always got to get the shiny. Definitely with this. There's some more shinies down there, so I'm gonna go down there real quick, grab those, and then kind of come back up here. Try not to fall. Here we go. Still wish they had fast descent in here, which they don't. Still can't remember if it was later Dark Souls games they added that or just the mystery key. Okay, that's fun. I don't remember where that opens. It's gonna be a genuine mystery for a bit. I remember it opened something, I just can't remember what. I know this isn't like Legend of Zelda, and I'm not gonna find these barrels and such, but there's something so cathartic about the way that furniture breaks in games. Oh, that's a fog door. Oh, that is a fog door. I don't like fog doors. I don't think there's another boss this soon. It wasn't that long since the Taurus Demon. I don't like this. Please don't be a boss, please don't be a boss, please don't be a boss. It's not a boss. It's not a boss, just a new area. Any of you who are watching, or Molly, have you ever played Dark Souls before, or is this your first time kind of seeing it be played? Come here, friend. Got a little sloppy there. Pretty sure it's a fake secret message, too. Okay. So I know we have... Oh, this guy. Yeah, this guy... These aren't an elite enemy, but they're kind of like the halfway point between the Hollow and the Black Knight I fought earlier. They're just kind of a real pain to deal with. Well, thank you. I take a compliment in making it look fun. I'm just here for the fun times, you know? Just to have a good time. This is kind of one of my favorite games. I figured it'd be one of a good first game to stream. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. There we go. That's okay. Again, Dark Souls is a game. You're gonna die. You just gotta recover. You gotta pick back up. Learn to do what you gotta do. Try again. If the pig's dead, we can just kind of cheat it and use all the fireballs again. Pyromancy 101. you have fireballs, use them. Don't think we're gonna waste a humanity here, because I don't need like a boss summon or anything like that. So we're just gonna kind of go into this old school, good old hollowed beef jerky edition. So, and if you're not sure what I'm referring to, if you haven't played Dark Souls before or watched it in a stream, let me just do this real quick. Yeah, when you're hollowed and you've lost your humanity, you just become a nice hunk of beef jerky. Beef jerky with a purple ponytail. Dark Souls 2, which I'm actually really excited to get to after I eventually beat this one, there's actually a bit more of a gradual process. So you don't just go instantly from nice, you know, full pretty human to beef jerky. There's a little bit more of a gradual process. But it also loses the ability to kind of the liquid soul. A lot of people think that Dark Souls is difficult, and it is. It's a bit of a hard game, I would say, in terms of like other games, like compared to Skyrim. It doesn't forgive you. It's a very unforgiving game. So if you make mistakes in Dark Souls, you're going to get killed pretty quickly. And a lot of people kind of, I feel like it's a little bit of a bad rap for being a difficult game. In fact, I think it's a little bit less that it's difficult and a little bit more that it's a bit uniquely designed. A lot of RPGs, like Skyrim, oh, almost rolled off the edge there, or The Witcher, are kind of designed where you're they kind of designed with this feel to be, you're the one chosen hero who can beat the land. Dark Souls rather takes it in the approach of, you're just another hero and everyone else has failed, and let's see if you can do better. And it kind of plays that way a little bit. Not doing good at this spot. But one of the biggest things I think about it, like in terms of more strictly speaking gameplay-wise, is a lot of those, they play with a very, you know, spam skill, swing sword. You can kind of just spam your way through. There's not a lot of practice that's needed. Yeah. Honestly, the people that I found that do the best at Dark Souls are not the RPGers or the hardcore gamers. It's people who play a lot of rhythm games. Guitar Hero, Dance Dance Revolution. Because that's kind of what Dark Souls is it plays like a rhythm game. Watch when the enemies swing, learn to dodge, learn the up beats and the down beats. And that's what kind of first drew me to the game was how much it played like a rhythm game, and kind of the ebb and flow of fighting. It's a game where you can't just rush in rashly. You have to think things through. You kind of have to watch how it feels. And I think it's very different from how most games play, so it makes it a little bit difficult. Especially because, like most games, when you lose and start to get frustrated, you stop thinking things through. You kind of just start to throw yourself at it again and again and again with increased frustration and less thought process, and that's exactly the thing that Dark Souls punishes, is not thinking through. Yeah. In fairness, outside of Dark Souls though, just gonna say, like, comfy games, I mostly play comfy games outside of Dark Souls. I play Minecraft, I play... Oh, that's not good. I play Minecraft, I play Stardew Valley, I play just Animal Crossing. I don't have the new Animal Crossing yet, but old school Animal Crossing on GameCube was my jam back in the day. And I love those just little comfy games. There's a real good sense of escape to them. You know, when you're not worried about trying to stay alive and fight for your life. They're just a much more relaxed experience. So, like, outside of Dark Souls, I mostly play comfy games, but Dark Souls is my one little exception. Maybe like Skyrim from time to time. I don't play any, like, first-person shooters or anything. Anything really competitive, like League of Legends, MOBAs. I'm not a big fan of competitive games either. So, that's like me in video games. I'm a rambler, so if you ever ask a question or make a comment, I'm probably going to talk for a while. calm down a little bit too. Kind of rushing through these areas, not paying attention. Been a bit sloppy. That's okay though. We're gonna get our souls back, and we're gonna see if we can do a little bit of a sneak attack on them. I mean, I started watching Dark Souls 2. That was the kind of how I got into the game, was watching people play it. And I loved it because I just think it's a very pretty game. Oh! I don't think we're going to be able to get a fireball off on this guy. He's too quick. Maybe. Maybe. He got his shield up very fast. Oh, we got him. I started playing Dark Souls not because of I love the lore of the game. I like it's a little bit unique in the lore. It's not a game that tells you what's happening. It's all through reading item descriptions and small little tidbits of dialogue that doesn't walk your hand through in what's happening. But I also love it just because I think it's a beautiful game. And like, you can probably argue this is starting to get a little bit old in terms of graphics, but this is like, you know, Skyrim 2010 graphics, and just for that time it was probably one of the prettiest games I'd seen. I just love the skyscape and the trees, the character design. It's a little gritty, a little dark, maybe, dare I say, probably going to misappropriate the phrase here, but it reminds me of like the old Gothic architecture in cathedrals. Not sure if that's the style that it technically is, but that's what it reminds me of. But just like the moss on the stones. It's got a real lived-in, good age feeling to the world. Oh, goodness, we are struggling today. Let's eat Nestus. I know you move slower than molasses. Come on, friend. Come here. No worries. I would never have guessed that your first language is in English. You've been typing perfectly. I always joke that my first language might be English, but that doesn't mean I speak it well. So, what is your first language, out of curiosity? Again, I wouldn't even have guessed from your messages. Got a runner. Hello. Yeah, I beat your friend with the buckler and the rapier. How are you doing? Gonna slowly walk up the stairs. Oh, incredible. Spanish. Oh, I do not speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of German, enough to pretend I speak German, but I don't speak any Spanish. I know no hablo español, and that's about it. Mexico, that's really cool. I've been to Mexico once, but the very kind of touristy area, like, I think it's called Puerto Vallarta? Probably mispronounced that. Very long time ago. I didn't like the touristy spot, but I loved when I kind of got out of the touristy spot into the, like, more the countryside. It was very beautiful. I can't remember for the life of me where it was. I just remember there was a glass factory there that did hand-blown glass, and I got a little glass penguin, and I still have him. I don't have him here with me because I just moved to Massachusetts, but I had a little glass penguin from there, and I've kept him to all these years. It's probably one of the guys that already charged me. Yet, because I know those guys are a pain to fight, but we're gonna grab some of these items out here. Ah, there's the halberd! I knew it was in this area. We gotta figure out how to equip that, because that's my goal. But I actually grew up. So the area that I grew up in, I grew up in Utah, just recently in Massachusetts. But the area that I grew up in Utah had a very strong Latino community. So it was like one of my fondest memories was we would, because I grew up on a lot of Tex-Mex food. But I always remember whenever we were making food, we would go down to the little Spanish market, the little Mexican market, and we would always get kind of some of the harder to find produces up north, like tomatillos and a good variety of peppers. Not just the easy to find jalapenos. We got some like nice variety of chilies and various things for spices. And my mom used to always love to make chicken fajitas, which are probably not traditional, but I grew up with those. Breakfast burritos. We had this little Mexican restaurant named Beto's. So I kind of grew up around a lot of that, and I wish I knew more about the culture. But alas, I don't. You are just coming right out of nowhere. I'm just going to run past all you guys. 'Cause I know that there's a bonfire down here. Pretend you speak Italian and English. I'd argue you speak English. Again, I'm reading your messages. You do have again, I wouldn't even guess that you weren't a native Spanish speaker or a native English speaker. It's like one of the jokes amongst me and all my friends is whenever we meet someone who says they're not a native English speaker and they apologize. It's like I grew up in rural Utah. And so I grew up with a lot of like, it's food in wonderful places, yes. Again, that's, I love any kind of Hispanic, Latin American style food. I love spicy food. And the hotter the better. And you practice watching streams. It's actually probably a really good way to learn English, you know? I'm not the best person to learn English from, but I think I speak it well enough to get my point across sometimes. The blacksmith. I have to do a little bit of item management. Now, that was the same thing when I was learning German. I would go watch German movies because it was back before streams were a thing when I was learning German. So I'd always watch just old German movies and whatever I could get my hands on, just because it's the natural dialogue, the way people talk. Because in class you're sitting there and they're telling you the word-for-word meanings, and it doesn't help. You don't pick it up learning word-for-word meanings. Like it's great that I know cat is katza, but I'm not sure how they're going to use that in a sentence, the way that they structure things. And streams are a great way to kind of get that exposure. First off, let's equip it. It does ruin my ability to dodge roll. Let's see how attacking is, though. Yeah, I don't meet the requirements to one-hand it yet. By two-handed, I can. One-handed, there's a... Well, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Sluggish. It wouldn't hurt to increase my strength dex, so I meet its requirements first. But that is the weapon I'm going with. Okay. So let's see, it's 16 and 12, and I have 20 and 13. I think I need 24 strength to wield it safely. Do I have enough? That up to 24, and then we can go figure out what we're doing with our armor. Let's see, I knew I got the Knight Shield. Is that going to be a better shield? Knight Shield. Weights more. Blocks more. Blocks a lot more. I can't take the extra 4 points of weight. Okay. So let's access the bottom of this box. And we can put one of these in there because I don't need multiple. The Knight Shield. How long have you been learning English? It takes a lot of souls to level up. I kind of hit that point. Let's see if I can improve. Waste any Titanite on the halberd. Okay, what we might do, which is a bit risky, I'm gonna just double check a thing real quick. I'm gonna see my game pause for a second. Just double checking. I want to make sure that I know the correct strength requirements. Strength to 1 hand. All right. That seems to not be a quick Google. Lasts like 6 years, but like this 2 years, and it's more helpful. Yes, definitely. There's always yeah, so it actually looks like I just need the strength requirements. I should be good to one hand the halberd, but I am still gonna work to 24. Yeah, no, I think I'd probably have to agree with you. Like, I would just, personally, I learned more from watching videos in German than I ever did from the classes. Again, I'm not going to pretend that I speak German. I speak enough German to pretend I speak German. Do I need... I'm going to see... Maybe the blacksmith... I can't remember if the blacksmith sells any items. Does, I'm going to see if he sells a lighter armor set, just so that I can roll with a bit more oomph. Again, that slow roll right there is going to kill me.
Well, I'm Andre of Astora.
Andre of
If
Astora.
you require smithing, then speak to me.
He's by far one of my favorite characters in the Dark Souls franchise. Just doesn't talk much. You just always have this kind of like reassuring little tink of him working on the blacksmith. You know you're near a safe area. Okay, you do have items, but you don't have... doesn't have weapon or armor. I haven't found a good place to have lighter armor yet either. Let's see. Is that enough? I think going barefoot might be enough. No, I don't want to go barefoot. not really a way I think I can decrease it enough. So I think I'm just going to stick with the hand axe for now, and we'll put some more points in strength and endurance as I can. In the meantime, let's do a little bit of armor improvement.
Well, hello. You seem to be need anything forged.
I do need something forged. Okay, you can't modify anything, you can reinforce. I don't want to put too much into the hand axe, because I am looking to get away from it. I'm going to reinforce the wooden shield. I'll actually give it a double reinforcement. Just because I have been using it, it should bump it up without increasing the weight.
Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Yes, this is. If you can hear that little bit of a tink, he's safe to an extent. This area is not safe. That's a boss right there, and a very mean one. But he is safe, and the area above him is safe. And you can just chill in here all day. There's not going to be any ambushes or like little PvP guys usually. And you got like this area, which is also pretty safe. So it's one of like the nice little break rest points of the game. I spent this guy, I believe he's referred to as the Titanite Demon. I think that's his actual name. He's a little bit, I don't need to go through him just yet, but the first time I ever played this game, I just continued to keep throwing myself at him for hours. Before I eventually realized I was a little bit under-equipped to beat him.
You seem to need anything.
Reinforce my shield. I think that's right. I wanted to check
I'll
what
be
my shield was
seeing you
doing.
then. Be careful out there.
He's also just, I like him also because he's just kind of, he always tells you to be careful, he kind of checks on ya. Most of the NPCs in this game don't really care about you, but he's just kind of like a bit of a grandpa vibe to him. I'm here for it. Okay. Oh yeah, so it raised it up from 93 to 97. That flame defense is phenomenal. So we're gonna keep the wooden shield. Yeah, it's the wholesome friend. He is a friend. And I believe he might make a reappearance in Dark Souls 3, actually, as well. Or at least someone similar to him. I'm going to kind of show this guy off a little bit. We're not going to fight him, because I'm definitely not in any sense ready to fight this guy. We're just going to do a little bit of a dance with him. This is kind of a cool design. He's like a bit of like a statue, and he's missing like a statue with a broken head. And, oop, we made mistakes. Oh, that was a mistake. But yeah, he's kind of a cool design. Got like a headless statue. He's got the broken leg, kind of skirters around, jumps through the air. I'll go pick my stuff back up. Should have seen that coming. He's not an easy boss. I shouldn't have messed with him, but and that's kind of also where you can kind of see where Dark Souls gets that reputation again for being a hard game. Is that he took 2 hits. One hit almost killed me, and the second hit did. Just kind of pick this up and then run back. He's actually not even technically a boss. He's just, I think, a mini-boss is what I'd probably call him. That's why you can kind of run in and out. There might be a second one of him later in the game. I'm trying to remember, but nothing immediately comes to mind. Let's see, it's gonna go over this way. I think we have another good friend out this way. There's a couple friends in the game. You got the blacksmith, Andre. And then we have, yeah, this guy's a friend. The Onion Knight. I don't know if that's his actual name. Yeah, he's like he's like an ugly evil scorpion. Yeah, this is the Onion Knight. He's got this nice, just big old bulky armor. You can get this armor set in the game.
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina, quite honestly. I've run flat up against a wall, or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak.
So yeah, the Jolly Onion Knight right here, sitting in his pickle because the gate hasn't just magically opened for him.
Still closed.
Still closed.
Mm. Still closed.
Yeah, that's all he's
Still
gonna say right
closed.
now. And the other one is Solaire. Solaire's the other friend that you'll see. I will say, kind of something, if you're new to Dark Souls, you're going to run into a lot of NPCs that you might get attached to. Like, those are my 3 favorite. Dark Souls is a game that loves to... It's not a light-hearted game. So I'm not going to give any spoilers, but if you get attached to characters in Dark Souls, just remember there's a good chance they're either going to betray you or end up dead. Not going to give any spoilers for the game, but just a little bit of an awareness there. The game's not kind to its NPCs. Anyway, we're going to go back through this place now. Kind of just get some more souls and fight a couple of the harder, trickier bosses. Oh. This is usually when I start making mistakes, too. Yeah, there's a couple things, like, I've done it a little bit. I know there's a couple characters, like, you can kind of end up saving. Dark Souls is a little bit of a heavy game. A lot of the bosses in here, when you kind of study the world lore, they're the heroes of their time, who have kind of finally given into the same curse that affects you. All of these creatures right here, they're called the Hallowed. They were just like you one day, or in the past. And just over time, they've kind of lost everything to the point that they're little more than just mindless guards. And that's kind of the fate that awaits your character that you're trying to prevent. And that's probably the best way to kind of do a quick summary of the lore. And a lot of people, like this big guy right here, especially have stories where these were heroes. These were noble knights of their time. Who just don't have... It's kind of a bygone area. Recover. A little bit of space. Oh, wrong one. This is not a good place to be. I'm gonna have to try to get past him. Oh, I don't know if I can. I did. There we go. Yeah, this is remastered. It's not remastered. It's just Prepare to Die edition. It might be the remastered version on the PC. Actually, I can't remember. But it is on PC. And also, hello, Link HTTP. Or I was gonna call you Link if that's okay. Welcome to the chat. Hello. Yeah, this is the. I'm pretty sure it's just the original PC port. I can't remember if it's either the original PC port or that I got the remastered for free and it's the remastered. But I know it's the Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition. Hey, Titanite Shard. It's always good. setting. Oh, I don't see network settings. So probably just the old school one then. Yeah. Firekeeper Soul. I don't think there is. Yeah, this is yes, the old one. This is the one that I've originally played back in the day. This is kind of my first playthrough in a while. It's kind of new to the chat. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a casual playthrough. I haven't played the game in probably over 4 years. Ow. Magic Man. That wasn't nice. Anyway. I haven't played the game in about 4 years. I still got to pick it back up again and kind of do it for my first stream. This is my, I think, 3rd stream total, 2nd time doing Dark Souls. Another one of those guys. Fireball. Oh, I didn't have my axe there. It's fine. Damage. What's trying to do for Apari? Try this again? There we go. Try hitting them in one swoop. Yeah. All this game is apart. It's just like 30 these little hollows. And I'm dead. That's okay. I figured I was going to die there. This is the spot I normally die at. That's pretty far from the course. It's kind of one of those struggle points that I have in the game, especially at this level. It's kind of why I wanted to get to the point I could use the halberd, is because then it makes that area a little bit easier when you have that reach. You kind of just do the thrust attack down the long hallway. That's okay. We didn't have our humanity up at that point, so we didn't lose our humanity or anything. So Link, if you're still in the chat, sounds like you've played a fair bit of Dark Souls before. I got the heavy attack. I always forget that I have a heavy attack with the weapon. It takes a little bit slower to wind up, but it hits harder. Heavy attack, that makes sense, but I just forget that I have it. Let's see, big guy should be gone still, yep. But stairs guy is gonna still be there. Yeah, right there. Come here, friend. Let's go down these stairs. There's a build that I've played in the past. I'm not going to do it for this one, where you really kind of use that small little shield that he has, and you rely heavily on parrying. And not hitting that button 3 times because your finger's spammed. You just kind of rely on being able to do that as effectively as possible. It's a pretty good build, but it requires being very good at timing, and I'm a little rusty on this game, so. So I don't want to try to put my ability to time it right kind of against him. I don't want to Just have to rely on a rusty instinct there. Maybe if I played Dark Souls for a bit, I might try that for Dark Souls 2 when I get to it, but just for right now, this is fine. Just channeling. Try to do is first get out of these narrow halls. These guys should follow me down into this main area. Yeah, the color patterns that they have in here, they really made do with what they could with the greens and the grays. And it is a phenomenal choice. They did it super well. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So many of you. Oh. One last one. Okay, are there any more of you? There's probably going to be more of them. Where'd Big Boy go? I'm gonna call him Papa Smurf, given his blue robes. There you are. Man, not so funny the second time, huh? Take you for a walk. Come on. Nope, we're still going for a walk. We'll walk you back into this room that you thought would be fun to try to swarm me in. Apparently, we're gonna leave him there now. This is one of those parts, like when I was first playing the game, I'd always kind of panic, because it's like, oh, I got so many different paths to go down. I think we're just gonna check out this area first, and not really commit to any direction yet. I'm trying to remember what's here. Gladly take another soul there. You know, like just to kind of harp back onto your palette colors comment, it's the gray, the green, like, if you ever, I don't know kind of what part of Mexico you're in, if you're in the more deserty or the more tropical area, but the moss-covered wood, it's like something that we had a little bit in Utah when it got, like, at certain times, but just kind of having come out here to Massachusetts, just the way that this looks, it's kind of mimicking the moss clinging to stone. How long have I been streaming, like, total or today? 'Cause today I've been streaming... Let's see if it's going to pull it up. Both. Yeah, the stream's been going for about an hour and 21 minutes. And in general, I did my first Dark Souls stream, my first stream ever yesterday morning. So I did a Dark Souls stream yesterday morning, a Minecraft one in the evening because I had a little bit of time, and then this is my third stream total, second Dark Souls stream. So I haven't been streaming for long in both situations there. Eventually, I will get kind of some commands set up in the chat. Like a common one that I see is basically where you can do command uptime, and it'll tell you how long the stream's been running. Don't have any of those set up quite yet. kind of everything about this is a little bit just put together at the moment. Yeah, this is a boss door. Flat out, that's a boss door. It leads to the Cathedral Gargoyles, which are probably going to be the next boss that we fight. I really don't feel like fighting them right now, so we're going to do a little bit more exploring, but they're the next boss we'll fight. Sorry, my phone volume turned itself on, so I had a little bit of an echo there for a bit. Just had to turn that down. Yeah, I know. I caught you in the. You were right there at the beginning of the Minecraft stream yesterday. I plan to kind of stream both Minecraft and Dark Souls. I'll probably throw in maybe a third game into that rotation. We'll see. Whoop, crazy camera. Dark Souls is my favorite game, so that's why I kind of started streaming it. Yeah, saving the Minecraft for us. It didn't get as saved as we would have hoped, but we'll try to save it again later. But, you know, so I started streaming Minecraft. That was the game my kid wanted me to stream, so he can watch it with his mom. So that was why we got Minecraft. Dark Souls is for me. And then my wife requested that I stream Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the Victorian London one. So we'll probably be doing some of that on stream at some point, too. Just because Assassin's Creed Syndicate's probably one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. I know a lot of people didn't like it. Compared to a couple of the other Assassin's Creed games, it's probably not the best gameplay-wise. But I love anything to do with kind of the Victorian-style London. So it kind of won me over setting-wise. So we'll probably see a little bit of that on stream at some point. And then just kind of, you know, anything else I feel like. Might get some Stardew Valley. Yeah, no, Minecraft's going to be a fairly long-running one. I do plan to build a museum every block, and that's probably going to take at least a year, if I'm being optimistic. So that's going to be a very long stream, and even after then, I'll probably keep streaming Minecraft. Just kind of just intermittently. Again, I don't really have a stream schedule set up yet. I'll get one eventually, and probably have certain games on certain days. But you can count on more Dark Souls, you can count on more Minecraft. And probably Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
I'm gonna free this guy.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec.
Not gonna do any spoilers, but
this.
he comes into play later.
And I guarantee a reward. Only later. Yes, very sorry. Your reward will have to wait. I've just been freed. Allow me some time.
Anyway. Yeah, he'll come into story. We'll see more of him. Don't want to give any spoilers away or anything like that, but you'll definitely see more. Yeah, no, there may be a little bit spoiler right there. Be wary of Liar. So, I'm not going to spoil it, but you can kind of read that note as you will. Yeah, no, Assassin's Creed's probably one of my favorite games. I only own Syndicate currently, but my wife's requested that I play it, so that will definitely be a game that we see on stream at some point. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. If I do get the new one, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I will definitely be playing that a little bit too. Just because, again, it's a setting thing. I love the medieval age and the medieval Viking era. It just sounds like a really cool thing to stream. So we'll probably get that if I do pick up the game eventually, which will probably be a while. I wouldn't count on that one anytime soon. But in the meantime, probably a little bit of Syndicate, Dark Souls, and Minecraft are the three that I'm planning on. Minecraft and Dark Souls will most likely be a little bit later in the day. I mean, Minecraft and Assassin's Creed. Dark Souls is probably going to be a little bit more of a morning stream. Okay. I got 4,000 souls. So I could go into that fight, but I do want to actually basically go into that fight human to see if I can summon a little bit of help. The gargoyle fight is not one of my strong suits in terms of boss fights. It's one where I tend to die quite a bit. So we're going to head back to the bonfire, spend some of these souls that we have, probably put them into endurance, see if we're able to get endurance up enough we can do a fast roll with the halberd. And then kind of continue from there. And also, for anyone who is wondering, I'll probably be streaming. I do have work today, so I'm not going to be streaming terribly late, but maybe another hour. Arla Loves My Life. Those are all excellent games. I've not played Twilight Princess on the GameCube myself. I did play a lot of it on the Wii. Is there a lot of difference between the two versions, or are they pretty similar? Slow roll. Is it fast enough of a roll? See if I drop the hood. I think we're gonna go with that for now. Stop looking like beef jerky. Yeah, this way that I can win. Part of the thing, because I think you said that you're kind of a little bit, you haven't played a lot of Dark Souls or really watched it stream, but one of the things about Dark Souls is that there is actually a multiplayer element. You can summon people to help you, and you can kind of go to other worlds to help them, and kind of, or even people can invade you to try to kill you. So it's a little bit of an intense there, but the only time that it's allowed is when you're human. So when you're not hollow, kind of like this. So that's kind of what I did right there, so I can actually try to summon some help for the gargoyle fight. I'm also going to make a couple other adjustments, because while the Lloyd's Talisman is nice to have on hand, Black Fire Bombs are a little better. So you only played it on GameCube. Yeah, I remember it came out on both. I had a GameCube at the time. I still have a GameCube, actually. But I didn't play it on GameCube. I played it on the Wii. We're going to try out the halberd and see if this does any better. Again, it's been a while since I've played, so this might just be embarrassing myself, but... There we go. The reason I love this weapon is that you got reach. You can kind of stand back a bit, keep the distance between you and the enemies, and it hits a little harder there. 2 hits rather than like 12. Let's get our friend up here. Bring him back down here. as it goes. There we go. One of the biggest things, kind of as you saw right there, is that with this weapon now, I can kind of one-hit them off of that parry instead of it taking a couple hits. What games did you play on GameCube? I played a lot of old school Animal Crossing, the original Animal Crossing. I played a lot of the Lego games, so Lego Star Wars 1 and 2. And trying to think. It was kind of a weird time. I thought of myself as a skater. Then I'm definitely not a skater kid, but I thought of myself as a skater. So I've also played like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and then I had like a motorcycle racing game. But mostly it was Animal Crossing and the Lego games. Probably the big ones that I played. I do have a game that I don't have my GameCube with me currently. It's still, again, back in Utah. Just moved to Massachusetts. But one of the games that I will be playing, and I'm actually going to try to stream off of my GameCube, is a bit of a unique one that I didn't find until later. But it's The Hobbit. So it's based off the Lord of the Rings Hobbit book. And it's before the Lord of the Rings movies or anything came out. It's just... right, like just based off the book itself, and it's just a beautiful, old school little game. It plays a lot like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I just found it on the GameCube, picked it up one day kind of out of the blue, and it has been one of the funnest little games I've played. So we'll probably do a little bit of streaming of that Hobbit, the Hobbit GameCube, when I do get my GameCube back out here with me. And this is what I was looking for. This right here, so normally you can summon players. This is not a player, but this is Solaire of Astora. He's one of your friends, one of the NPCs that you meet. And I kind of talked to him a little bit in yesterday's stream, but basically he belongs to a group of people that you can join that their whole entire point is helping out people beat monsters and kind of progress. Engaging in, as he calls it, jolly cooperation. So we've gotten him summoned up, and now we're going to go in to fight the gargoyles. And this fight is a pain. We got his help, a little bit better chances. Now we have to, because this fight said, oh, one isn't hard enough, let's put a second one in. Oh boy, oh boy. Getting lots of loot. Kind of wish I wasn't getting a lot of loot though, because I don't need that taking over my screen. First try. That was incredibly unexpected. Bye, Solaire. So now Solaire goes back to his own world. I get a nice little sunlight medallion. Holy crap. I did not expect that. I did not expect to beat them on the first try. But I will take it. I will take it. I will take all the loot I got. What all did I get? I think I got a helmet, and I got the gargoyle axe, which is actually we may consider using. It's a little bit less damage. It's a little bit more dex-based. I'd have to level up my dex a bit to use it. But it weighs a little less. I'm unable to wield it effectively. I need to boost up my... I'll go boost up my dex enough to use it, and we might give it a little bit of a try. See if it's worth using. Oh, there it is. That's the axe. So I got a sweep. Got a spin. You'll notice one of the cool things about this axe is, so it is the gargoyle's tail, kind of made into the shape of an axe. But when you swing it, it actually bends, like the tail does. It's not like just a fixed thing. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like that little curve to it, which makes it probably just one of the cooler little weapons in the game for that. Kick's the same. Jump attack's a good solid hit. I don't know. Don't know if I prefer it or the halberd. So the reason why I usually use the halberd over it is this thrust, which isn't necessarily, there's a bit of a delay on it, but there's a range to it. And then combined with that, it makes a pretty good, that's a really good sweep. The kick and the attack, it's got the sweep attack too, which is also nice. It's a bit heavy and a bit sluggish. I'm gonna think about it for a second. Let's go up here and... Is anyone in this room? So this, one of the things, kind of like one of the main story points of the game, is basically you're told you need to ring 2 bells of awakening. It's the first kind of goal that you're given in the game. And it doesn't really give you much more guide than that. A lot of games are like, you know, here's your quest marker, here's your little compass arrow, here's where you need to go on your map. Dark Souls is like, there's 2 bells, go ring them, have fun. That's the guidance you get. And this is the first of those 2 bells. And a gorgeous view ahead. See if I can kind of get into there. Beautiful sky. Kind of see the castle walls below a little bit. But yeah, this is the first of the 2 bells of awakening. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a ring. Get this beautiful zoomed out shot kind of over the valley. Some of that just old ruined architecture this game loves to have. Anyway, and now we go back down. That is one of the 2 bells rang. And now if we are, I'm not seeing him. Oh. Try sliding down. I feel like there should be a fast slide button, but there's not. Oh, so if you saw that little phantom climbing up, that is actually another player. They kind of come in and out of the world a little bit. This guy right here, too, who wasn't here before, but now he's here.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Careem, the Path. No appearance to lack faith.
Yeah, the palette colors are
Yet
amazing.
magnanimous are the gods. Cometh out to confess, or to accuse. For indeed all sins might be.
So this guy right here, is... The greeting scared you. This guy right here is a fairly unique thing he's got this option called Request Absolution. Basically, there's certain NPCs in the game, like him, the Onion Man, the Blacksmith, a couple people at Firelink Shrine, which we'll see again when I head back there, where they're not aggressive. But if you attack them, they're going to fight you. And they will remember it. And the only way, one of the only ways to get them to stop fighting you is to come to him and basically request absolution. Which costs a little bit, but then it kind of resets them. So that you're not, you don't have to fight them anymore. He also, I believe, he lets you, if you've joined a covenant, if you joined one of the groups, he lets you kind of leave that group. And he also sells a lot of just kind of semi-useful items. Not for me and not for the way that I'm playing, but like the Ring of Sacrifice is always a good one. So a couple things like that. I already have a Ring of Sacrifice, that's why I'm not going to buy that one. The Purging Stone is very important a lot of times because curses are destroying. And these are kind of more PvP stuff. I don't quite know what they do offhand. I don't do a lot of PvP in this game. So, he's T-Pose guy. He is... You have T-Pose Man, and then you have... Do I have it? Nope, not what I wanted to do. Second. If I open that up, this is the default one. Do I have... I don't have it. Did I not pick it up? I might not have picked it up. There's it's the Praise the Sun emote. Where basically, your character just kind of takes and raises their two arms above their head. All dramatically. And just kind of sits there and enjoys the sun. Praise the sun. Which is one of the covenants, the one that I will join as soon as I remember where they are and how to join them. Yeah, they're good people. Their covenant's whole point is helping other players, joining other players to help them out. So, good people. Okay. So the first thing that we are going to do is get out of here. There's another one of those phantoms I was talking about. They kind of appear when you're in human form. It just kind of shows where other players are. It makes the game not feel so lonely. Yeah, Solaire's a good people. I like the peoples. I can. So this, right now, is taking us down. It's actually going to be a shortcut back to Firelink Shrine, which is kind of the most central hub of this game. It's where I was for a good portion of the first one. We're kind of here for the second one now. But now we can kind of use it as a shortcut to kind of get between here and the blacksmith. You can see Firelink Shrine. Nice big letters there. Here's a guy. He's a bit pretentious.
Hello. What is it?
So I'm not going to help him. He wants me to join his group, and I don't want to join his group. It's kind of a covenant. It's one of the covenants. It's meant for people who are new to the game and who need help from another covenant. But I don't quite want to join his because I'm kind of saving it for the Sun Bros. This guy right here, I can't remember his name. I know he has a name, but he's just kind of this forsaken knight who's given up a bit. He just kind of sits here and talks. Kind of gives you little tips where you need to go next, although not intentionally.
Why, what a surprise. I didn't expect you to make it. Oh, somebody rang the bell. Wait, was it you? You never give up, do you? I don't know how you do it. Well, don't stop now. Only one more. But it's going to be suicide.
So yeah, he kind of just eggs you on. Doesn't really give much useful
Don't
information.
you ever think to forge your weapons? You'd better find a smith box soon. Unless you enjoy swinging about with blunt instruments.
He's a sad guy.
What's wrong? Get a bit of a scare out there? No problem.
He's a sad
Have
guy.
a seat and
He's
get
given up.
comfortable. We'll both be hollow before you know it.
He kind of doesn't see the point of you still trying. He's a really kind of just sad, tragic character.
Well, what are you going to do? I've already decided.
Sad, kind of scary,
I
yeah.
don't really care.
Crestfallen.
I'm
That's-
simply crestfallen.
The Crestfallen Warrior. That's what his name is.
How did that silly sorcerer's apprentice end up? You know, the one always prattling on about Master Logan. He left for the Undead Burg, but never came back. Serves him right. If even old Big Hat can't make it out there, what chance does he have? I hope he enjoys his new life as a hollow.
So this is kind of what I'm talking about, though. He gives these little bits of advice. For example, I'm not playing a sorcerer character. I have pyromancy, but I'm not using any kind of the arcane magic. And basically, he's telling me right there that the sorcerers, Big Hat Logan and this apprentice, went to the Undead Burg. So if I can find the Undead Burg, I know that that's a good place to start to look for them. If I want to have them kind of help me a little bit more learn sorcery.
What now? I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
That's kind of all the dialogue he has for now. It's always worth talking to him. If you ever play this game, it's always worth talking to him if you're not quite sure where to go. He might give you good advice. He'll still be a bit of a bummer, but he might give you good advice. Okay, we need dexterity to 14 to be able to use the axe well. I'm going to do that. That should be a good little level up here. But most of our souls, but that's okay. Roll much better now. Yeah, he doesn't get it, you're trying, but he still gives his little advice. Hold this back up. Does it give me... I feel like lost... I can't tell if what happened there. I think it probably just increased my resistance on those. This is kind of one of like the first legendary-ish weapons in the game. And I think I am gonna try to use it. Let me get a good little read off of it first. What does it do? Okay. So if we compare it to the halberd does more damage. Not by necessarily, by 29. Maybe. Wait, I can't read this right now. 17 more damage. Which doesn't necessarily mean a lot. It scales better with dex, but I don't necessarily plan to use a lot of dex. But the strength scaling's the same, which is what I was dumping into. So they're kind of moot point there. It does have slightly better strength scaling, apparently. But it's worse damage reductions. The axe actually offers some protection, which is interesting. Although durability goes down. Weight's less. Is there an increase in roll speed with it? It rolls good. Still got a slow swing. Why does it give me? It's giving me like an effect though. Okay. Slice Tail of the Gargoyle, guarding the bells of Waking Undead Church, or patrolling an Arno wand. It can be used as a bronze battle axe, bends dramatically during large sections of its tail. Why do I have like an armor up though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Also, if this dropped, actually out of curiosity, if it dropped my weight enough, can I still roll well with my helmet again? Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do this because I can wear my hat again. We're gonna head back to the blacksmith and kind of polish it up. I'm gonna make this our weapon of choice for the time being. See if we get anything better. green colored too. Kind of now that I look at it. It reminds me of, because it's stone, but it specifically reminds me of like malachite. A little bit. So they kind of like that little bit of a green tone through it. Or like maybe like a rusted copper. No, I like the kind of green color of it. Actually, I'll do a quick little test run before I kind of commit to it over the halberd. Should be some undead up here. I also forgot that I can always switch to two-handing it if I need to. Yeah, it does have some good swing for two-handed. See against him. So he's one of the enemies that I'll fight quite a bit. It's like, yeah, it's like an aqua. Here we go. Okay. I'm just trying to try out things. And I died. It's kind of my fault. I wasn't quite playing to actually win that fight there. I was mostly just kind of playing to see how the weapon handled. That's actually a good question. Oh. I hear the sleeping. Where's the raven? This raven carries you away from the undead asylum to here in the very first part of the game, kind of like where the arguable tutorial is. Let's see. Block with it. Can't parry though when you're two-handing. I don't know if it even has a parry or a repose. Probably mispronounced that. That's when you attack following a parry. Take the elevator up. Let's pick our souls back up. Get back to trying out. Just kind of figuring out if this weapon's worth doing over the halberd, really. So I don't mind the look of it. It seems like it's got good damage potential, but I want to give it a good test before we kind of commit to it. Yeah. Come on. When he's doing that, if you swing to attack him, he'll parry you and does a lot of damage. Okay, the hit's good off of it. What about the heavy attack? Didn't do that much more for the heavy. But it doesn't take a lot stamina to swing, which could be a good thing. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can almost get 5 swings out of that. Versus, I think with the halberd I can only get like 2. One, or I'll probably get 4. So I almost get a full extra swing. Yep, we're gonna commit to it. We're gonna commit to it and regret it later if we need to. Ouch. go get it nice and polished up, and then we can kind of really judge it and kind of see what it does. It's a little bit safer to use with the halberd because it's a little bit extra lightweight, so you can always switch back to the halberd later. We'll have to kind of farm some Titanite or something to get it all polished up if we need to.
Well, hello again. You seem to be doing all right. Need anything forged?
See? Just such a friend. He's always a great guy. Okay. Let's reinforce this. Needs another Titanite shard. I think I can buy them from him. I can. They are expensive. Put both of those in Register. Hurrah.
Oi, where are you off to?
I didn't mean to back up. I hit the wrong button.
What's going on with you, eh? I thought you had gone hollow there.
He's friendly. He's a friendly little guy.
Most weapons and armor are mighty sturdy indeed, but every hunk of metal has its breaking point. If you notice durability running low, it's time to repair. You can ask a blacksmith like myself, or do it on your own with a grindstone. The nice thing about weapons, they never betray you, so pay them a little respect, eh?
He's a
Oi.
wholesome friend.
Where are you off to?
Concerned about me because I'm leaving without saying goodbye. Wholesome friend. Let's see, we're gonna kind of dump some stuff into here. Because I don't need it. Oh, nope, wrong button again. Hand axe can go in here. We're gonna put the halberd in here as well. Armor. We're gonna put the gargoyle helm in here. Because I won't be using it anytime soon. Yeah. There we go. Just nice little bit of everything there. I need extra souls though, that's the problem. Because I have probably go get. I'm just gonna go kill some Hollowed real quick and come back to him, so I can do one more upgrade on this axe, and then we will take back off to the next area. While I still have a little bit of time. What time is it? I still got a bit of time. Upgraded axe did it in 2 hits rather than 1. Wrong button again. Go. Wrong button's probably my catchphrase. Dodged. I'm impressed. Normally you guys don't bother dodging. You just kind of sit there and mope around. You did like a full jump back. Really impressed. What about you? Let's try Apari again. Oh, timing was bad. That arrow was so close. Yeah, the arrows in here, they're one of those things I usually kind of ignore them for the most part. They're fairly easy to dodge. They're a little slow. But, every once in a while, you get a close one, or... Oh, you have such a long wind-up. Like, I'm trying to remember like where to par you, but you just hold it for so long. It's like not even funny. Like, here we go. Just hold it ever. It's like I hit the party button and it's always way too early. Hear the dying sounds? They just got like this nice, I'm gonna use the phrase crystally quality to them too. Like when you like with the souls and everything, it's like a little bit of a crunch and everything. It's a kind of oddly pleasurable sound, oddly pleasant sound. At least as far as the dying sounds go in video games.
Well, hello again. You seem to be doing all right. Need anything forged?
Yes, I'm going to reinforce this one last time. Make it all
Don't
nice and
get
pretty.
yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
See, that's again wholesome. He doesn't want to see you go hollow. He's just a nice guy. I'm going to try something. This is probably going to be a bad idea. I really want to try it. We're going to see if there's anyone here who's thrown down a summon sign to help, but... I'm going to try to beat the Titanite demon. The scary one. It looks like a broken statue. Probably not the best equipped for it, but I kind of want to give it a go. Just want to see if I can. Try holding with both hands. Actually, I think you are right, because this isn't going to be a guy that I'm going to get a lot of... Oh boy. Let's have him do that. So then I can do this. Getting nice and close. Ouch. And badly timed that. Let's see. Do you not take fire damage? Okay, there you go. Yeah, I am not good enough equipped to beat him right now, I don't think. I don't think he's the next person I have to beat at least either. Hi, ugly scorpion. When those bars you see that pop up there are because, I'm assuming because my resistance increased. You know what? We're just gonna go full hog on this. Come on, friend. I feel like you have a really insanely small hitbox for your size. And you figured out how to turn around. Let's see. Do some lightning for me? That's the easiest to dodge. Yeah. There we go. Making me plenty of time to do nice and you swing wider too. There we go. I'm trying to think if it's his... Do I keep trying to beat him just because I kind of want to, or do I go back and maybe come back a little bit more prepared if I can find some stuff? I kind of want to just keep giving him a go for a bit, but If you think I should do elsewise, I'll probably go back and go somewhere else. Collectively. Oh, apparently he got a backswing. I didn't notice he had a backswing. That tail is oddly long. That was a bad idea. Oh, I saved it though. It was also a bad idea. That might be Oh, I am out of fireballs. Lightning-y again. Yes, that's exactly right. Okay. I have a triple trick up my sleeve. Except not when he lands on me like that. Walk around here. Oh, that's a corner. Don't want to be in a corner. Oh boy. Come on, lightning boy. Go lightning-y. Lightning-y. There we go. I've forgotten the layout of the place. I got a little bit flipped around there. There we go. I can kind of see what's going on. Knowing your surroundings is incredibly important. Close. Kind of stick towards this. Got a few of these. We got a few normal fire bombs. Oh, that was a hard hit. So let's see. We got to like half health with all 8 of the fireball spells I had. Those do less damage. I'm trying to think if it's worth I don't think it's worth to keep throwing myself at him. So I'm gonna grab my souls and go. Oh, I only had 80. I wouldn't have come and got those if I had remembered I only had 80. But still. We're gonna kind of head to a different area and maybe come back to him when we've kind of improved our weapons and gear a little bit. A bit strong first now, and I'll take getting him to half health for today, you know? You don't have to beat everything you can the first time. Sometimes it's good to set it down and come back later. first. A little bit of a back roll. Couple hits for you. There's always something cathartic when you go from like a very hard boss like the scorpion, and then you kind of come back and go to an area that you're familiar with. And you're just like, oh yeah, I know how to do this part. We're good now. You know, these enemies are easier to deal with. You just feel like kind of gives you a little bit of a confidence boost. You're like, yeah. Cheat. Let's see if I can find any hidden goodies. Go this way. Is that a jump I can make? Oh, I forgot about those goodies. I'll have to go down and get those. I might regret this. Made it. Now you think that like this kind of feels like you're breaking the game and you're doing things you're not supposed to do. Lo and behold, Dark Souls knew that people were going to be doing this kind of stuff. And oh, that was brilliant. Hello. Just ignore that I fell through the roof. We don't talk about it. It's one of those games, like, probably, I'm gonna dare I say rare games that genuinely rewards trying to, like, break it, trying to find areas like this. Like, walking off the elevator mid-journey just so that you can hop on this very narrow platform. And it just doesn't feel like something that you should be doing, but yet it's put items up there for you. And I'll grab these items down here. These are just some... This is like actually normally a starting area that you get when you first start playing the game, but I entirely forgot about it. So we'll just pick it up a little bit later now. Most of those are just kind of various little PvP items. You get the Morning Star, which can be pretty good for a strength build, if that's what you're going for. Lloyd's Talisman. The Lloyd's Talismans are actually one of the underappreciated... there's an item there. The underappreciated items in the game. They kind of give you a... They're one of the few ways to kind of see through Mimic's disguise. Skeletons are beefy boys. They're not beefy boys, but they're beefy boys. It's because it takes so many hits. Technically the opposite of beefy boys, though. It's one of the things, like, when you're first playing Dark Souls, you kind of see this area, because that's the starting area, just right over there. You see this area, and you're like, well, maybe I'm supposed to go this way. The answer is you're not. The enemies down here are intentionally difficult. But you can just walk right into it right from the get-go. And I know so many people who've gotten very frustrated because they come into this area and they're like, well, I'm trying to play the game, but like, it's like I don't even know what to do because like this is super hard skeletons. The answer is you're not supposed to come this way right from the beginning. Maybe to grab some of the items, kind of like what I'm doing right now. But yeah, this is actually a little bit of a later game area. Dark Souls just doesn't shut you off from anything. It's a very open world in that sense. So if you want to walk off into more dangerous places, you are welcome to do so. Dark Souls does not stop you. Okay. It scared me there for a second. There's like light, deep noise. snoring away. Let's try the elevator thing again. I'm trying to remember what's up on that roof. It's probably just souls, I'm assuming, but souls are good. Made it. Come up this way. Nope. There we go. Oh! That's important. Oh, but do I do that right now? Basically, the Undead Asylum is where you start. But there's a way to get back to it, which is a bit tricky, and I can't think if I'm supposed to do it. I don't feel like it's something that I'm quite got enough gear to do. Yeah, but that key's important to have. It helps you get to a not quite secret place, but kind of get to more of the asylum than the first starting area to get some decent items, as well as one of the few people that you can trade with. There's these invisible birds that you drop shiny objects and soft objects, and they give you things in return. I think they're in all 3 Dark Souls, but I know they're in Dark Souls 1 and 2. Take a rest in the bonfire. Quick drink. Let's see what time it is. 9:30. Probably should be going soon. I am going to kind of poke into the next area a little bit, though, before I take off to work. This is kind of what I'm talking about. This is the area that I went to the first stream. It's kind of the first starting area you go to. Probably should be playing it smarter than I am, but it's the first area you go to. And it's kind of a decent little area. Let's do a little bit of a kick. Now, if I remember correctly, and I could totally misremember, there should be a door I can go through now that I couldn't before. Mouse, large rat. Splashy tunnel. All the splash. I'm trying to remember. Is it the basement key? I got a key that leads somewhere else. I'm just trying to remember where exactly it leads. Hi. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry to hear you have to go. And as I always say, kind of to steal a phrase from Noctis, who's a streamer that I watch, thank you for joining me. I know that there's a lot of more important things that we have to do out there. I hope that you have a good time going wherever you're going and doing whatever you're doing. Just remember, you're always welcome back. Have a good day, Molly. That's scary. Not paying good attention. That's okay. here to go? This one. Nope. Not open from this side. Where do I need to go? Where is the door to the basement? Maybe it's in here? I think I might know where it is. It's probably the last thing that we check out in the stream before we wrap it up for the day. Anyone who's still watching. Yeah, looks like we got a couple of you. Does Dragonfire come back? You're back. Why are you back? I don't remember you being back. I don't know if I like that. Did I go the wrong way? Why are you back? Oh, I hit it one too many times. Not paying good attention. Dragon really threw me off. I thought it was done already. Be wary of right. Thank you, random citizen, for the warning. Where does this go? Oh, it goes here. That... Seriously? Well, I guess actually, never mind, because I had to open this door first. So it was probably worth it. So swear I could interact with the statue in the past. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. Now that we know the dragon can come back, I'll have to keep that in mind. See if he comes back another time. It's not something I'm super keen on having to fight. Back to the Underberg. Well, you're still here. You're not exhausted.
Oh, hello there. The sun is, if only up.
Now, you're not saying anything new, but you're still here. Is this the door? Yes, this is the basement key. Naturally, on the tallest point of the highest tower. I suppose it's probably the basement key because it leads down to a basement, but... still. Probably shouldn't be exploring off willy-nilly right now. But looks like we are. That's cool, let's push it a little bit. Just push it a little bit. Ah, this is perfect. I knew exactly what this was. That is a shortcut. One that's apparently dangerous right now. That also means that... Okay, that's the way that I came. Yeah, those guys up there. Down there's probably the next area to go. Okay, we're not going to do any exploring this stream, but we will definitely take that out in the next stream. Let's head back to the bonfire and we're going to wrap up. Make sure I get to work on time, even if I did have a little bit of extra leeway today. You a fast boy. You can dodge when you want to. Heaven forbid you move fast and I want you to come at me. Probably should do this so haphazardly, but that's what it is. You got a pillage too. Sounds like we have one more. We do have one more friend. Okay. Well, I think that is where we are going to wrap up today's stream. I'd like to thank all of you for joining me. Just to kind of end on a positive note, just remind you that, you know, real life is really important. If you go out, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you just do the best that you can, enjoy life for a bit. And just remember, you are always welcome back. Thank you. Thank you for watching.